It started with a mistake. A simple, stupid mistake. Ethan had been driving for hours, the endless stretch of road swallowed by the darkness of the countryside. The rain had started an hour ago, and his GPS had lost signal not long after. He wasn't worried at first. He'd driven these back roads before. But as time passed, he realized something was wrong. The road never ended. No turns, no intersections, no signs, just darkness. 10. Out of nowhere, headlights appeared in his rearview mirror. A black car. No make, no model he could recognize. It followed close behind, its headlights almost blinding in the rain. Then, it blinked its lights. Once, twice, 3 times. Ethan frowned. Was it signaling him? He checked his speed perfectly normal. His gas tank half full. His doors locked. Another set of flashes. 1, 2, 3. His fingers tightened around the steering wheel. Something about it felt wrong. The road ahead stretched into nothingness, endless and unfamiliar. And then his phone lit up. No service, but a notification appeared anyway. A message. Do not look in the mirror. Ethan's blood ran cold. His phone had no signal, no Wi-Fi, no way to receive messages. But there it was. His grip on the wheel tightened. His mind screamed at him not to look, but he did. At first, everything seemed normal. The road behind him, the rain, the black car. But then he saw it, not in the car behind him, in the back seat of his own. A shape, dark, twisted, too tall to fit. Its head bent at an unnatural angle, pressed against the ceiling. And then, slowly, it turned its head toward him. Ethan slammed the brakes. The tires screeched against the wet pavement. The world tilted as the car spun out of control. When it finally came to a stop, his breath was ragged. His hands trembled. He turned. The back seat was empty. The car behind him, gone. The road, silent. But his phone was still in his lap, with one last message. You looked. Ethan's breath was shallow, his chest rising and falling too fast. The rain drummed against the windshield, the only sound in the suffocating silence. For a long moment, he didn't move, didn't blink. Then, slowly, he reached for the ignition. The car started. He exhaled in relief, but something inside him whispered that it wasn't over. His phone buzzed again. He hesitated before looking down. Keep driving, do not stop. His skin crawled. A joke, a prank. His rational mind tried to explain it away, but something deep inside knew better. His foot pressed the gas pedal, and the car rolled forward. But the road, it was different now. The trees were closer. The sky was darker. And up ahead, standing in the middle of the road, was a man. Ethan's foot slammed on the brakes again. The figure didn't move, didn't flinch. He was tall, dressed in black, his features hidden in shadow. The rain poured over him, yet he seemed untouched by it. Ethan's heart pounded. He honked the horn. The figure didn't react. Then, slowly, it lifted a hand and pointed. Not at Ethan, at the back seat. Ethan's stomach twisted into knots. He refused to look. Not again. Instead, he threw the car into reverse. The engine growled. The wheels spun in the slick road, but he wasn't moving. It was like something had its grip on the car, holding it in place. The man in the road tilted his head. Then, a whisper inside the car. "You should not have looked." Ethan's breath hitched. It was close. Too close. His body screamed at him to run, to escape, but he was trapped. The doors wouldn't budge. The man outside took a step forward. Ethan slammed his fists against the wheel. "What do you want?" The response wasn't spoken. It was written on his fogged-up rearview mirror. 3 words, scrawled by an invisible hand. "Let me in." Ethan shook his head violently. "No, no, hell no." The writing on the mirror dripped like ink bleeding through paper. "Let me in." Outside, the man's face remained hidden in shadow, but Ethan could feel him smiling. His phone buzzed. Another message. "Do not speak to him." Ethan's hands trembled. Too late. The air inside the car grew thick, heavy. His lungs ached. The darkness in the back seat shifted. Then, his phone buzzed again. One final message. "It's already inside." Ethan turned the key, desperate to restart the car. The engine sputtered, but didn't turn over. Something breathed behind him. His fingers dug into the wheel, knuckles white. He refused to look. "Do not look." The whisper came again, curling against his ear like cold fingers. "You invited me in." The darkness in the back seat moved. "Now, I will never leave." The car engine roared to life. The headlights flickered, and in that brief flash of light, he saw it. Not a man, not a shadow, something worse, something hungry, and then the world went black. Ethan woke up in his car. The rain had stopped. The road stretched ahead, empty and quiet. For a moment he thought maybe it was a dream. But then he checked his phone. One unread message from an unknown number, with only 2 words. "Look up." Ethan's hands shook as he raised his eyes to the rearview mirror. And there, staring back at him, was a smiling face. Black screen end.